when you learn to not argue with him and let him be a man, let him take charge when he needs to take charge, and you just stand back, watch how he'll reward you. He'll give you everything. Hello, and welcome back to the Karla Eli Show. I'm your host, Karla Eli, and I'm here to guide women towards wisdom so that they may unlock a life of abundance by mastering the feminine balance. Let's get into today's Wednesday wisdom. If you are liking the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, and answer the polls if you are listening on Spotify. Please, please, please take a look at the questions. I do insert those questions myself, and I do read what you guys say. So I want to know, are you liking it? Are you not liking it? What do you want to change? But anyways, today we're going to be talking about a very, 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 very heated discussion. The woman who tries to control everything around her, specifically in relationships, is only granted frustration and disappointment. But the women who learn how to submit is given everything. And I've already tested this theory out so that you don't have to go through the same things that I did. Okay, at first I thought I knew what being submissive was, and then I got married. And that all changed for me because I realized that, oh my goodness, I love to control. And I think it comes naturally to us as women, because we have this like fear of not knowing the future. That's why we were always so like clinged on to like witchcraft, because we think that witchcraft is going to lead us to knowing the future. When I say witchcraft, I'm talking about like tarot card readings or like having someone read our hand, things like that. Okay. We do that innocently, wanting to know our future, but simultaneously inserting different things in our life that shouldn't be there. But anyways, the point is we have this obsession of control, and we battle with two things: learning how to control our emotions, which is almost contradicting of what I'm trying to say, and secondly, letting go of control. You see how contradicting that is? Learning how to control your emotions and learning how to like let go of control. And I guess it goes side by side, because learning how to control your emotions requires you to let go of control. And the only person that you can actually control is yourself. So when in doubt, like, don't try to manipulate and control people around you. Only try to control what you allow yourself to feel when in doubt. Okay. But the reason why this is important, and it goes hand in hand with our previous discussion that we had earlier this week, is because, ladies, our man isn't our best friend. Our partner isn't our best friend. And accepting submissiveness and being submissive requires you to understand this first, because if you don't understand it, you're going to want to disrespect or treat your husband, spouse as your best friend, and it's going to bite you in the butt later on. So, and also, you can't master being submissive if you don't see your man as like apart from your girlfriends or apart from your friendships, because you'll see each other as like buddies, and you're not. That's the thing, you're not. You are lifelong partners, and that is more beautiful than just being friends. I want you to really seriously romanticize a marriage, romanticize a partnership. And that might sound toxic, but it's really not. The moment that you start to let yourself to be vulnerable and let yourself admire your marriage is the moment that you're going to be more careful on the subjects that you decide to share with your partner. First of all, what is being submissive? Is being submissive just like doing everything your husband asks you without like thinking twice about it? Is being submissive just being like, yes, sir, yes, yes? Is being submissive like not using your brain and like for you to be able to discern things? No, being submissive is literally an art. It's an art form, because what you're essentially doing is you're letting your man know that you trust him in whichever decision he decides to make. Because mind you, a man who respects you is always going to want your opinion before he makes a decision. You guide him and advise him, share a little bit of wisdom, but it ultimately is up to him what the choice is. When you do it in this way, you allow him to build up his confidence, because if the outcomes are good, it's going to be good for your entire family. If the outcomes are bad, it's going to be bad for your entire family. But the more you allow a man to make decisions for your pack, for the family, the more you allow him to be not just in his masculinity, but take responsibility for his actions, and for him to really understand how powerful it is to have a man at home. Like for him to be truly, truly confident, and not a confidence that translates into cockiness where it's based off of the self, but a confidence that is based off of love, because he's doing something not just for himself, but he's doing and making a conscientious decision for his pack to get better. And I guess I should say this is why building your discernment is so important. I built my discernment based off of scripture and listening to other women's advice. And then I started noticing patterns. And now I know how to use my discernment and know it well. But you need to have discernment and standards, at least a list that you can follow to blindly. That's why I always say your standards protect you. My standards protect me. Right? So that when you give your heart to this man that you decided to marry, or this man that you decided to be in a relationship with, he reciprocates that and he takes care of you. I remember my brother told me, because we have very deep conversations, but he told me that the moment that his wife told him, like, I will blindly listen to whatever you say, he said that he felt like he swallowed like deeply, and he's like, oh my gosh, this is a big responsibility. And after she said, like, I'll follow you blindly, I'll do what you think is best for our family, that's when my brother started doing a whole bunch of research on like different religions, different churches, different like everything. Because he's like, oh my gosh, what a big responsibility. I need to take care of this precious person that I love. Remember, now are you catching on? Now do you understand why a man needs to love you more? Now are you seeing that? I hope this resonates with you. I hope that you start understanding why a man needs to be in love with you for this to work, and why you need to choose a man out of respect. I'm telling you, there's no other way. There's no other way. I'm not saying that you can't fall in love with your man. You can, but that comes later. In the beginning of you marrying a person, you choose them based off of your standards and respect. But going back to being submissive is so pure. Being submissive is hard. And a man admires you for being submissive, by the way, because ask a man to do that. It's hard. It's not easy. It's the battle that we face. And when you learn how to be submissive, when you learn to not argue with him and let him be a man, let him take charge when he needs to take charge, and you just stand back, watch how he'll reward you. He'll give you everything. Because again, you're helping him build his confidence, build his self-worth, build his self-image even more. And this confidence is not stemming from self, it's stemming from community. Not only are you doing that, but you're also adding value to him. You're doing so much for him. So what do you think his response is going to be? Knowing that you are a woman of education, a woman who is discerning and wise, and knowing that you are a woman who can do it all, but decides to still give him the opportunity to step up in his plate, he'll give you everything, girl. He will give you everything. Because it takes courage, it takes discipline and focus to do that, to be submissive. So a man naturally gives you everything, and you don't have to ask for anything. Obviously, that's a very broad, ambiguous statement. But even if you do ask for something that you want, he will be more than willing to give it to you. Why would he not want to? Believe me when I tell you, this works. Ladies, but you as a woman need to choose a man based off of respect, not out of feelings. Feelings fly. Feelings go with the wind. And I know that a lot of you are into this like seductive era, right? You want to learn how to be seductive. There's no other way to seduce a man than being seriously, than being happy, in love, and submissive. You won't need to fake anything. But in order for you to gain those attributes, you need to connect with your Father in heaven. Girl, you need to have conversations with your Creator. You need to read scripture. You need to go and dig deep into the woman that God has called you to be. I find it hilarious when a lot of, well, I don't want to say that, but it's very interesting to me to see a lot of women talk about talk about like being like seductive and stuff like that. And I'm like, girls, remember don't be fast fashion, be luxury. Learn everything through the manufacturer. Everything you need is in scripture. Everything. That's how I learned. That's how I learned. I'm not here to say that, oh, I figured it out by myself. No, I got no time I have no time to figure out the market. I have no time to be the market. I have time to see what works and what doesn't work. And by using scripture, you can figure out what works. Ladies, I know what I'm telling you. Again, this is only going to work if even if you don't believe in scripture, like if you practice what it actually says, it works. It works because scripture isn't just for religious people. Scripture is also a testament of what works and what doesn't work. Why not use the oldest book? Why not use the oldest book or one of the oldest books? Ladies, be wise. How many times I have to say this? Learn the art of being submissive. Don't control. Control will only lead you to destruction and will lead you to disappointment, stress, frustration, manipulative. Be manipulative. Why do you want to do that to your heart? Why do you want to be so manipulative that you're planning and strategizing everything? That's so annoying. No. You can strategize. Of course, I want you to strategize. But with scripture, let God tell you what's happening. Let him reveal to you his prophetic word. Be open to receiving that. You won't need to force yourself into what you want. You don't need to force yourself. When you force yourself into a man's life, when you force yourself to have something happen, nothing good comes from it. Let go of control. Learn how to submit and watch what happens. Watch how much abundance you'll receive. As mentioned in the beginning of today's Wednesday Wisdom, if you like the show, please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, answer polls. That really helps me identify what you like. And I hope we kind of understand what submission is, kind of like being a little bit submissive. If not, please leave your questions on the comments down below, as well as answering the poll question on Spotify, so that I know maybe I need to do a little bit better of explaining. But yeah, ladies, I'm here for you. And ladies, please be wise.